Wah, wah, wah. Guess you could call me a whiny bastard. Beer, 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 beer. Hello everybody, welcome back to me, Mate Brewski, for another Brewski review. And today the beer I have for you is definitely the third video of a very similar beer. This is the 2018 edition of Nickelbrook's Whiny Bastard, aged in Pinot Noir barrels. Coming in at 11% alcohol by volume and 70 IBUs. I've done this beer before. I've done it for my second review. I've also done it yet again. The first time I did it was 2017 fresh. Second time I did it was 2017 aged 1 year, and now we're doing 2018 fresh. And yes, by this time next year, there will be a 2018 aged. So, without further ado, let's crack it open. I've already peeled a little bit of the waxed head on there, and we'll crack this open and get right into this year's edition. Very excited, very, very excited. I want to see how it changes from year to year. Pouring it into my Rouge River fat tulip style glass, and we're just going to give it a small pour. Because it being at 11% alcohol by volume, it is a big bastard. It is also a very delicious bastard. Looking at the glass, then again, very black body, very darker sort of brown head as well. Looking at it up close, very, very nice, black as night. Looking at the bottle here, a very deeper purple with Whiny Bastard printed in a nice cursive lettering. Not Whiny Bastard up top, very aggressive lettering, and then Pinot Noir barrels in a very cursive lettering. Always love these beers. Love what Nickelbrook does with their barrel aged stuff. So without further ado, I'm going to put my nose in here and see what kind of smells we get. Tart, just grapes. Definitely smells more wine forward. You get a little bit of alcohol kick out of here. Maybe a slight chocolate malt, but definitely more wine forward with a very like a nice malty sort of surrounding note. Yeah, definitely wine for sure. Let's have a sip, shall we? This one's much more tart. Much more tart, less Imperial Stoutness to it. Not as sweet as some of the other the other two times I've had the Whiny Bastard. Definitely way more sour, way more tart of a beer. But I think we just need to keep diving in on this and seeing what other flavors I get. That first sip was extremely tart, extremely rich in a very alcohol-y sort of wine. But yeah, let's see what else we can find. Cheers, everybody. Seems a bit more vinegary as well. Like the wine hasn't kept as well. Sort of thing, like it's a bit of an older body. I wouldn't say I'm disappointed in this beer, but compared to the 2017 version, both new and aged, there is a big difference. It seems like this wine had been out a bit longer. It definitely didn't, kind of went a little bit worse, a little bad sort of thing. You don't get really any chocolate or coffee notes. It's a bit more vinegary. Slight, but yeah, slightly sweet, like a Pinot would be, but a little bit disappointed. It's easy to drink. The 70 IBUs don't show up as much. Definitely creamy, definitely a bit thicker. Doesn't sit heavy in your stomach though, not at all. It's just definitely a bit more vinegary, much more tart grapeness to it. More of like a sour grape rather than a sweeter one. I'm a little bummed, to be honest. I'm kind of bummed. But all in all, still a solid beer. If you're into that very big tartness that comes from some grapes. But yeah, let's see what the bottle has to say for itself. So, Nickelbrook's Winey Bastard 2018. Moving over here, you have a description, and it says, "Can you believe Nickelbrook took some of the best Pinot Noir barrels from the Niagara wine region and tossed their bastard of a beer in it? I mean, what have they done to the soft oak and subtle earthy fruit notes from the barrel? Their Imperial Stout has way too much chocolate, coffee, and dark fruit flavors for this delicate notes imparted by the barrel aging process. I don't know what they were thinking, what they were doing. So what? So what if it's delicious? Winey Bastard. Drink it today or cellar it to enjoy later as it matures. Au revoir, santé. Au revoir, saint." Very bad at French. 70 IBUs, 11% alcohol. Recommended serving glass, chalice, or tulip. I have enough fat tulip, so we're all good there. Also, it lists ingredients and all the malts, hops, and yeast, so we'll start with ingredients. Ingredients are water, malted barley, malted wheat, flaked barley, demerara sugar, hops, and yeast. The brewer's elements for the malts are chocolate, dark chocolate, Carafra Special 3, chocolate wheat, crystal, roasted barley, pale ale, flaked wheat, and flaked barley. The hops are German Magnum, Nugget, and Cascade. The yeast is a dry English and Brettanomyces. That's where you get the tartness of it, is in the Brett. And the barrels are Toisé Pinot Noir. Warning, bottle conditioned. Great information, both in the description, ingredients, and all the brewer's elements. Love to see that. Nickelbrook does a really good job informing the drinker of what they're drinking with these barrel-aged beers. A bit of sweetness comes through once it warms up too. Very nice, actually. Actually, like before I said I was bummed. You know what? I'm not bummed. It's just a different flavor from what I was expecting, because I was my most recent memory is of the 2017 age, which was phenomenal. I really want to see how this beer turns out once it's aged. It is a damn good beer. I'm not saying pass it up by any means. Definitely go get yourself a bottle. It's smooth, it's rich, it's tart, slightly sweet. Amazing. Don't get as much chocolate or coffee from the original Bolshevik Bastard beer that it's based off of, but you get that nice tartness which goes down absolutely smooth. Also, no brewed on date here, which is fine because these are released once a year and only once a year, so you'll know when it is bottled on. Me right now, I think it was February-ish. Don't quote me on that. That's when I think it was released. But now we're going to move over to the website. And the website is nickelbrook.com. And coming over to the Winey Bastard, it has the same... different description than the bottle. So let's read it, what it has to say. While beers were historically stored in wooden barrels, the aging of beers in barrels which have held other types of alcohol is relatively new. Wineries generally only use a barrel 3 times, but we love playing with them for years to come, pulling increasingly complex flavors and aromas from them year after year. Pinot Noir barrels add more fruit and floral tannins to an already complex Imperial Stout. Coffee and cocoa blends with red grapes and oak and vanilla in this winter warmer. This description is showing that it's coming in at 10% ABV, which I'm pretty sure was a few years ago. and also 70 IBUs, so I want them to update every year their barrel aged. They only have 4 barrel aged beers that change from year to year. You can do it, Nickelbrook. You can update those every year. It doesn't take long. I highly doubt it. And this beer also got an award, the Ontario Brewing Awards Gold in 2015. So that was definitely a bit more of a different rendition than this current beer, because they do change slightly year after year, but overall very similar in style. That's tasty. Very tart. Very, very tart. Finally, moving over to Untappd, the 2018 version of Winey Bastard has been given a 3.89 bottle caps out of 5, and that's out of only 43 ratings. Let's see, anybody has to say anything about it? No, not that I can find. Oh, one person. Really, really like this. Tons of roasty red wine. Damn straight, buddy. Good shit. Now, we are on our final sip, so let's put this down the hatch to get right to my ratings. Choosing the final sip, guys. Definitely really tart. Really, really tart. Subtle sweetness. Overall, solid beer. Winey Bastard smells like a wine with a nice like malted, roasty malt body going for it. Taste extremely tart, slightly vinegary, but overall goes down really smooth. Definitely a much more bitter, winey taste, like a red wine taste, rather than a mixture of grapes and chocolate and coffee like the other beer, the other Winey Bastards that I've had. This year is definitely more tart, sour, slightly vinegary forward. Still a very solid beer, and I'm very happy I picked up this bottle and also a second bottle to age for a year. Overall, Winey Bastard, I gotta give it a solid 8.5 out of 10. I'm not a big fan of the super tartness, but still a delicious beer to have, indeed. Moving over to presentation now, Nickelbrook always does a really good job. You know, very nice looking logo. Great to have the big description, all the ingredients, a very detailed list of the brewer's elements, listing all the hops, malts, yeasts, and barrels that they've used. Also nice to see what kind of glassware you should use with this beer. And I've done that as well. No bottled on date, but that's okay. It's only released once a year, and when you know it's coming out, you know when it was bottled. Moving over to the website now, one thing I do always have a gripe with is that they don't update the information on the beer for the next year. This information is definitely a year or more old, but it's nice that they do have a little bit of a different description. Also, I would like to see the information that's on the actual bottle uploaded and put onto their website. But overall, presentation gets a solid 8.5 out of 10 as well. With all that said, if you have any comments, questions, beers you want me to review in the future, you can leave all the information down in the comment box below. Also, if you would like to go ahead and like the video or subscribe to me, Mate Brewski, for more beer reviews, that would be greatly appreciated as well. Finally, it comes down to my question of the day. And my question of the day to you is, what's your favorite style of wine? Whether it be red, white, a Pinot, a Riesling, Moscato, Sauvignon Blanc, the Merlot, any stuff like that. Me personally, I gotta give it to I like Rieslings and Gewürztraminer or something like that. I forget, like Riesling, Gewürztraminer for a white, and for a red, what is it? Cabernet? Pretty sure it's a Cabernet. J. Laura has a very nice wine, but thinking Winey Bastard, let's put out a wine question out there. You know, we do a lot of beer, but this is a beer and wine together, so I'm gonna throw out that question. With all that said, that's gonna do it for me, Mate Brewski, and like I always say, crack a beer and enjoy. Cheers. Hell, if you even want to crack open a wine, do that as well. Cheers, guys.